Hello, it's Teresa here. I'm out walking in the woods in my area on my way to work. So, what I want to say is that, this channel, the name Soul Transform Trauma Healing with God, that came to me about a month ago. And that came from the Lord when I was praying and asking Him, what do you want me to call this channel? And that was like pretty specific. So, but since then, I've been sitting with it and asking Him, please give me clarity about how to elucidate this subject and bring a message to people to help them. Because I know I work with a lot of people, and I know that trauma is relatively ubiquitous in most people's experience these days, and mine. So, Here's the thing I need to share. Full disclosure. I am a person that has also experienced a ton of trauma, like really throughout my whole life. And at this point, I'm 60 now. I have several stress-induced physical symptoms. Some that are pretty severe. They come and go. Right now, as God would often do it, I'm experiencing what I am certain now is chronic fatigue syndrome / myalgic encephalomyelitis, or CFS-ME, chronic fatigue. So that's this one really sucks. I have a lot of pain. I started getting migraines, which I've never had in my entire life. I am getting ocular migraines. That's really interesting. Insomnia, really weird pain. Anyway, mind-body symptoms such as these, stress-induced, we call them now, so many names, but neuroplastic symptoms is the latest iteration, and I really like that one. Because as Dr. David Clark, who coined that term, says, neuroplastic implies that as the brain is malleable and can relearn new patterns, because it's the brain, especially the hypothalamus, that creates the pain and inflammation, the vagus nerve and all that the brain's malleable and that can change. And so he says that he feels that's a more hopeful term, and I agree. I really like that. It's simple. It's one word. So full disclosure here is that the Lord has called me to help people to heal from trauma and stress-induced physical symptoms, while I myself am really going through it. In a few weeks, I'm going to a little over a month. I'm going to Chicago to learn a technique called the Perrin technique, which is a particular technique that includes manual therapy, lymphatic drainage of the brain, cranial sacral therapy, and a few other things. And I'm going to learn that specifically for treating CFS-ME with Dr. Raymond Perrin, who's a DO from England. I'm so excited. It's been a long time since I've been in a professional training and one of this caliber with the founder himself. But isn't it great? It's like God. So I am now suddenly, for the first time in my life that I'm aware of, although I've probably had it simmering for quite a while, am aware that I'm having ME and CFS symptoms. So I want to share that because I think what I'm going to do is be super transparent and basically go through my own healing process, how I'm working with myself with these conditions, from everything from diet, gut-brain health, microbiome, exercise, the mind-body practices, somatic work, in prayer, in working with the Lord. So, because essentially, this is the best material I've got to work with and share with you guys what I'm going through. I'm really well aware of the traumas that have created this in me. There's so many. To take the time right now to explain them all. But essentially, the theme of my life has been being the family, community, professional community scapegoat. And so rejection, extreme rejection, from family, extended family, community, even professional, even ministry, in a church that I was in for 9 years in leadership. So it's kind of ridiculous. Like, how can one human be rejected so much by people close to them? And then we're talking on the spiritual level, that spirit of rejection, of course, is completely Antichrist. It's Satan. And it's like a Jezebel spirit, if anybody's familiar with that. Jezebel, of course, referencing to Queen Jezebel, who's married to King Ahab, who's the king of the northern 10 tribes of Israel in the Old Testament. And the Jezebel spirit refers to somebody who is satanic, is demonic, who wants power over people and uses flattery and manipulation to get it, or outright threat and violence and destruction to get it. So that one of Satan's favorite tactics is rejection. So what the Lord's showing me is soul transformation and trauma healing. One of the biggest aspects of trauma healing is to recognize that trauma, the real cause of trauma, is a mistaken identity. That we go from we ask, who am I? Rather, we need to ask, whose am I? And of course, we are God's child. And once we understand our kingdom, divine, true identity, we come into faith and trust and relationship with the Lord. And that is a big part of healing. But I don't have the full clarification of that, or the full understanding yet. So I believe that the Lord's taking me through that with my own healing process to elucidate the identity piece with Him. I do have a ton of other things: diet, body work, somatic practices, really amazing things, and still working with that, getting more training, as I said. So I'm going to share all that with you guys and also walk through my own journey. If anybody is interested in having a free conversation with me, I'd love to work with you, because you're helping me develop this process of the whole big picture, and I would so appreciate it. I have worked with many clients over the years. I've been doing this stuff for like 30 years now, so I have a lot of experience. I'm really good at what I do. I'm very prophetic / intuitive. I mean, I'm really good at perceiving what is the exact emotional causes of people's health problems and emotional issues. And I do know a lot of stuff, a lot of techniques for moving through all that. So yeah, I'm just so excited to really get this material out there. And especially one of my key desires or motivations or heart passions, if you will, is to make this really, really, really affordable, because there's so many great tools that work to help people, but then once they start, being shown to get really good results, people jack the price up so high, and I hate that. It's like one of my pet peeves. It's like, why say that you want to help people and then only help the wealthy, or train the wealthy to help the wealthy? So that's a big passion of mine, and I believe that's really the heart of the Lord. God makes things available and easily accessible, and He opens doors for those who call on Him and trust Him and work with Him. So yeah, just a short little vid, and wow, what a journey this is, this mind-body world of trauma and healing, and a little tweak with little distinction: healing with the Lord, doing it God's way, but biblically, prayerfully, and all the tools, all the things that are super effective. So just putting that out there. Let me know in the comments, or you can go to my website and get information on how to contact me if you're interested. We can have a conversation, and I'd love to chat with you and see what kind of experimenting or processing or just exploration we can do. This isn't me trying to pitch business. This is me trying to have people who are open to partnering with me to really explore this work and develop it. And as I said, there would be no cost because it's exploration for me and learning too. So anyway, thanks a bunch, everybody, and let's talk soon. Okay, God bless.